Well, hello and happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Feliz mes de herencia hispana. What we're going to do to help give you guys materials to celebrate the culture and the contributions of the Hispanic people, not only just within our community, but also people that are new to the community that might be coming into contact or learning this information for the first time. Um, we have created a document to help you facilitate that conversation in your classroom. So it's really important that we remember that the students need to see themselves in the curriculum. They need to see themselves in the learning and in academic conversations. All of that helps do things like lesson discipline problems, enhances the relationship between the teacher and the student, as well as with the parents. Okay, so what we're going to do is just take a look at the document, put it on present. Okay, so what I have done here is just kind of really look at that principal question and start there. Why do we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month? If you click on it, that's hyperlinked to a nice video that's pretty concise. All of the media that has been linked into this document is all, from 2 to 5 minutes. You may have one or two that go up to 10 minutes, but those, of course, are at will. And when I say one or two, I think that's probably one or two alone. You have a couple of articles in here. I would say that most of the material in here is probably more appropriate for grades 3 through 12, just to really teach to the majority in terms of K-12. That does not mean that kinder, first, and second can't maybe use some of these names as inspiration to do some independent study. Like, for example, here, when we talked about STEM, we have a young girl who is 8 or 9 years old named Adara Sanchez. So she has a lot of interviewing information about her that is related to like young people. So you can always just kind of poke around and use these names as inspiration for doing independent study and finding resources that are a little bit more age appropriate, maybe some mentor text around some of these people. So what I tried to do here is, for the most part, stay away from the celebrity Latinos that everybody knows, because there's just already so much information about those people out there. What I try to do is just highlight ordinary people that have done extraordinary things. So let me go ahead and show you. We'll get this out of the way. We have some like really, really famous Latinos, and those are, people like, and they're just added to the post at the bottom, like Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, Ricky Martin, Pitbull, Leo Messi, maybe people like Sofia Vergara. So you'll see like very big name celebrity Latinos at the bottom. There are no hyperlinks there, except just, recognizing that they're there because there's just so much material about them. If you click on this, it says learn more about famous Latinos here. You do have less on the moment, like celebrity Latinos, like J-Lo shows up, but you'll see other people like Rita Moreno that have done other things and contributed greatly to, the culture of our diverse country here. So you can find more people there. But what I did for the most part was break down the Hispanics into different Hispanic influential people into different sectors. So you'll see like some STEM contributions, and I tried to be sure that they were more or less equal in terms of gender representation. So we have the STEM contributions of Elena Ochoa that works with NASA. I've highlighted Dr. Rene Favaloro, who is the creator of the heart bypass. I think he's like I think he's a superstar and he's well known internationally. But, for some reason, we don't talk a lot about him here in the States, but this is where he did his work. He's a South American doctor. So I put him on blast right there. I have Adara Sanchez, who is also contributing in STEM. She is 9 years old, I think, and she is already working with NASA. She has an IQ of 160, 165. So she is like surpassed the IQ of Einstein and Stephen Hawking. So if you click on those, you can see a little bit more about her. I also tried to add some local leaders. So you'll see Anita Martinez there. She has contributed greatly to the whole Ballet Folklorico movement in Dallas. She is the point person for Ballet Folklorico. You will find the resources available in English and in Spanish too for all of these people. We have Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo in the arts, which we know the arts goes way beyond those two, but I do feel like baseline information about Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo is necessary just to have like a social functioning knowledge of really commonly known artists. Then we have commerce and education. So I added in Miguel Cardona, who is currently the Secretary of Education. And then I added Carlos Slim, who is a magnate out of Mexico, just recently, maybe not this year, but was recently the wealthiest man on earth, and he's a philanthropist. So then we have military contributions, and we added Carmen Contreras Basak, I believe it is, and she is a Puerto Rican American, one of the first Latinas in the military, and she was in World War II. We have Guy Gabaldon, who single-handedly took the largest number of POWs in military history in Japan. So he took, I think it's between 15 and 1,800 Japanese POWs while we were in Japan. And he said the reason he took those POWs is because he didn't want to shoot anybody. So then we have military. Again, Roy Benavides, who is an extremely well-known military hero in Hispanic circles, especially in like local Mexican-American culture. So we added him there. In history, I put Juan Seguin, Dolores and Cesar Chavez, because although they are like socially active, I feel like they are part of our history in terms of Hispanics in the United States, as well as El Tejano. I just went ahead and gave us like a name, the Tejano, and because we are part of history, but I think a lot of times we are maybe left out of history or not really kind of seen as like a silent, there but not there participant in Texas history. So what I want to do is just kind of spotlight the Tejano as a contributor to history, and then define who the Tejano is in English and in Spanish, and talk a little bit about our culture, because what we have here is a lot of our, our ELs, or a lot of our Latinos here in Ferris, they're Tejanos. And so it behooves them to know a little bit about their culture and their background and their history in terms of the Tejano identity. Here we have literature, Jovita Idar, who is an activist and teacher who fought to have young Latinas be able to go to school here in Texas. We have Sandra Cisneros, who is a internationally well-known author, my personal favorite. Pablo Neruda, a Chilean poet. And then we have Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who's very well-known Nobel Prize winner for his literature. He is Colombian. So you will see them broken down into different parts. There are more people, obviously, there's plenty more that we could have spotlighted, but I thought, just to kind of highlight people in different areas, this would be a good place to kind of go from and springboard into other topics and other people as you go. So if you need any ideas of what to do, please let me know. I think one kind of pretty easy thing you can do is have maybe a group, choose a person, maybe from each area, and then jigsaw responsibilities, and then have the class do a presentation on their group work. If you do have like a student that feels like, oh, this is really representative of me or my community, I really want to share more and be an enthusiastic contributor of that culture to the group, I think I would encourage those students that are Hispanic to be vocal advocates of these stories and tell their own stories in the process. So that can do nothing but create an additive classroom where all students feel included. Okay, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and I hope that this tool can be helpful for your implementing and recognizing the contribution of Hispanic Americans in the classroom. Please let me know, send me an email and with any ideas or maybe some pictures of how you made it work for you in class. Okay, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Bye-bye.